Welcome back to the Bearded Console Gamer, and today I'll be taking you through the industry-shifting announcement that Microsoft has acquired gaming giant Zanimax Media, and with it Bethesda and a bunch of other hard-hitting studios. I'll also be giving you an update on the Xbox Series X and Series S pre-orders, which went live this morning, and, well, predictably, it hasn't gone without a hitch. So first, let's talk about the purchase of gaming giant Zanimax Media for an eye-watering price of $7.5 billion with a capital B. Now let's make that figure just a little bit more tangible. Microsoft could have taken that fat wad and bought over 214,000 Tesla Model 3s, 15.3 million Xbox Series X consoles, or one Zumwalt-class US Navy stealth destroyer. To put it in an even more useful context, Disney bought the entire Star Wars franchise for just over $4 billion back in 2015. Ergo, Zenimax is empirically better than Star Wars. It's safe to say that Sony fans are rightfully worried that Microsoft is going to want to get its money worth by taking the newly acquired IPs and having them as timed or outright console exclusives. On that worrying note, let's take a look at exactly what studios are included in the deal. With the new purchase, Xbox gained Bethesda, id Software, ZeniMax Online Studios, Arcane, Tango Gameworks, Alpha Dog, and Roundhouse Studios. That accounts for a range of beloved franchises including The Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Doom, Quake, Wolfenstein, Prey, The Evil Within, and Dishonored. One of the greatest criticisms of Xbox during the last generation was that it lacked the impressive first-party game roster boasted by the PS4. Well, Microsoft just crippled that argument in a single stroke, and the question now becomes whether Xbox is going to be willing to share its newfound embarrassment of riches with the other consoles. More specifically, whether it's going to be willing to share them with the PS5. We've already been told that ZeniMax games already coming to the PS5, including Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo, will be on it, but that the exclusivity of future games is going to be judged on a case-by-case basis moving forwards. On a side note, it's going to be interesting to see whether either of these games boots up with a prominent Xbox Studios logo when they come to the PS5 next year. Regardless, we now live in a reality wherein The Elder Scrolls 6 and Fallout could both be first-party exclusives, though I think it's much more likely that Xbox is going to go down the timed exclusives route for the majority of their new titles. Going nuclear with some of the biggest and most beloved titles in gaming history would engender an insane amount of bad will, cough PlayStation Final Fantasy. But the real reason is that at the end of the day, Microsoft is a giant corporation that loves to make money, and there's a lot more money to be made by selling their games on as many platforms as possible. They could take the predominantly timed exclusive approach and still massively increase excitement and value for their next-gen consoles. If you buy a Series S or a Series X, you'd still potentially be getting those games a lot earlier than you would on any other platform, and they'd also be included in your Game Pass membership. Add the ZeniMax franchise additions to the recent EA deal, and Game Pass becomes basically irresistible. In short, Microsoft's latest move is the narrative equivalent of the Dragon Ball Freezer arc, where Goku does nothing for roughly 1,000 episodes with his arms raised in the air, gathering energy for the Spirit Bomb attack. Zenimax Media is Gokusoft's Spirit Bomb. Of course, as we all know, the Spirit Bomb didn't kill Frieza, it just hurt him a lot and made Goku's console much more attractive. Also, this way, Microsoft can still sell games on Frieza. By the way, I've seen people saying that the ZeniMax acquisition could amount to a monopoly, which would then see it subject to an official investigation. However, a recent article in IGN, which drew on the opinion of a legal expert, highlighted that the merger constituted a vertical integration wherein a content distributor buys a content producer, rather than a horizontal merger wherein one competitor absorbs another competitor. The latter of the two scenarios is the one that authorities have a serious problem with, as it stifles competition to a far greater extent. That said, vertical integration can still raise monopoly issues, and is likely to become a problem if Microsoft were to move on any other major independent content makers. So I have a law degree, and even I found that a little boring, so let's move on to the pre-order situation. As of writing, the next-gen console pre-orders are in the process of rolling out across the UK and probably just starting in the US. And as you'd expect, retailers are having crippling issues keeping up with the increased website traffic. Some, including Game and Smiths, experienced complete meltdowns. Some fans met with a long wait just to get into the website, and when they got there, it crashed on them immediately. Meanwhile, the Smiths website couldn't even handle launch day pressure at all and basically crashed straight away. Later in the day, Game followed suit. This is a huge issue in terms of accessibility, as while customers were still able to go into the stores and get their pre-orders up front, the Xbox All Access payment program, which lets buyers spread the cost of their console in the same way you can a phone contract, is only available via the online storefronts. I personally prefer it when, on the rare occasions that corporations do make a consumer-friendly move that increases accessibility to their products, that they're actually available to the customers they'd benefit. On a personal note, I managed to get my Series X through Argos by employing the same approach that I take when I'm trying to get Glastonbury tickets, which is a festival in the UK if you don't know what that is. You need an army of screens, laptops, and mobile phones, and you gotta cycle out the gods that you pray to. I've found that a well-aimed wish at Ra or Sobek is sure to net you festival tickets and, in my case, an Xbox console, so feel free to play with it. But regardless of how the online storefronts fare in the US, it's likely that the Xbox pre-order rollout is going to be viewed a lot more favourably than it was for the PS5, largely because Microsoft told people exactly when they were going to take place, whereas Sony just dropped it in a Jeff Keighley after their showcase. In other words, Xbox fans are more likely to blame themselves and the retailers for their inability to secure a console, rather than feeling that they missed out because of the shambolic approach from a PR team, which was the case with the Sony PS5 rollout. By the way, it turns out that Marvel's Spider-Man won't be getting a physical next-gen release, and that your PS4 save won't carry over to the next-gen version of the game, which is a ridiculous state of affairs and just pisses me off when I'm about 4 trophies away from the platinum and want to do it on the PS5 right before I run into Miles Morales. Anyway, that's all your news for today. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like and subscribe, and if you want to support the channel, you can even buy me a coffee through the link in the banner. Let me know what you thought about the acquisition of Zanimax Media and the rollout of Xbox pre-orders in the comments, and stay tuned for more gaming news, reviews, and roundups.